Hi everybody, Rihanna M. Hill here to talk about what is a hashtag. Now, this question is not asked as frequently as it used to be, but it's a fun one and still comes up every now and again. So let's go ahead and dive into what is a hashtag. So it's a really great question and it can have a lot of different answers, especially depending on the context of what you're asking for, who you're asking, or why you're asking. A lot of people who use hashtags aren't even 100% sure what they're for or exactly how they work or why they're using them, especially in the social media field. We know we need to use them, but we don't necessarily know what they are sometimes. So it's kind of fun to take a moment to go ahead and dive into hashtags, the history of hashtags, how they got started, and how to best use them. They are an integral part of several social media sites, especially Instagram, Twitter, even LinkedIn is on the rise for using more hashtags. So having a good understanding about them will be important to understanding how they work and how they can work for your business. Well, we'll go ahead and dive right into the beginning, a little bit of a history lesson for where the hashtag even came from. So if you remember a time before 1999, the hashtag was something more like the pound key. It was a really big part of making phone calls. So anyone who has had to make a phone call into a center, sometimes it's still even true today, but you'll recognize when they say, press pound to continue, or you had to use pound to dial into certain parts of the system. Originally, it comes from a Latin mark that means pound by weight, according to dictionary.com, and it was eventually added to keyboards in the 1960s as a way of sending instructions or information to the phone operating system. So it was a search term, basically, a way to use searches with original computers in the 1960s, especially with phone operating systems. Probably the beginning of the, press 1 for English, press 2 to continue, press 3 for this, as we've all ended up in those phone menu circles. So how does it go from the pound sign to the hashtag? Well, this began in 2007. If you go to hashtag.org, yep, there's an entire website about the hashtag. But the first hashtag is credited to Chris Messina using it on Twitter in 2007. So this was used during a conference, or I guess they quote it as being a technology unconference, where they were talking about social technology. So the original tweet was posted for hashtag bar camp in August 2007. It said, how do you feel about using the pound sign for groups, as in hashtag bar camp message? So this is credited for being the first hashtag used on Twitter and something that created the popularity of hashtags. The purpose, it says, is that Messina wanted to use the hashtag for the purposes of gathering discussions and online exchanges regarding the conference, as well as gathering activities that span worldwide. So very similar to the original use of the hashtag for, or when it was called a pound sign, the original use of the pound sign for computer and phone operating systems to send search queries, hashtags help to organize information. They can mark a topic or a theme of ideas that are shareable and searchable. And what's the best is you can create one or search one of whatever you want. So now that we have a little history lesson of what hashtags actually are, let's go ahead and dive into where and why you will use them. So today, for social media, Twitter and Instagram are the main social media sites that use hashtags. Lately, LinkedIn has also been trying to push the use of hashtags, which makes sense for sorting those themes and topics. But Twitter and Instagram, especially Twitter being the creation site for the modern day hashtag, are the great places to use them. So Twitter will also use, they include their hashtags in trending topics for content that's frequently being used at any given time. So if you go to the main Twitter site, you'll see the trending topics. I believe currently it's on the right-hand side, or if you're on mobile, you might have to search it through a menu. But a lot of these trending topics will be hashtags, and those are hashtags that are most frequently used, especially on various national days, like a National Popcorn Day or something. That can often be what you will see trending. So that's a great way to know at any given point in time what kind of conversations are being had on Twitter. Instagram is a whole new animal with hashtags, and you tend to include a huge chunk of hashtags with Instagram, give or take a few, depending on the current strategy for how to reach people. A lot of people on Instagram will actually do searches for ideas and thoughts, theories, ideas with these groups of hashtags to see the kind of content that they want to see. So it's a great way to reach more people that are interested in the same things that you're posting. In a business context, this might be, for an example, something I was looking at earlier today, looking at baby clothes. If you're searching various baby-related hashtags, you can find a whole bunch of pages that sell really, really good quality clothes that could be exactly what you're looking for. So that is one way that hashtags on Instagram are used. Although that tends to change quite a bit, as sometimes you just want to use 2 or 3, and sometimes you want to use 10 to 20. The actual hashtag strategy on Instagram certainly shifts and changes a lot. So I always recommend just testing a few different things and see what works. So the next question is why you would want to use a hashtag. So we've talked a little bit about how hashtags can help sort and label and organize information, or be a way to find similar conversations that are happening about the topic that you're discussing. So in practice, Twitter usually having 2 to 5 hashtags, Instagram somewhere between 5 and 20 hashtags, depending on your industry, is a great way to gain visibility about a topic or conversation, or to join a topic or conversation. This way helps put your content in front of the right people who are looking for those similar terms, those similar topics that you're looking for. So to use that previous example, someone who is not necessarily looking for baby clothes likely is not going to want to be looking through hashtag baby clothes or those sorts of similar hashtags. However, if you want to start a conversation about pancake recipes, using hashtags such as hashtag pancakes or hashtag recipes or hashtag the best pancakes is a great way to help get that content in front of the right people. So that's another really great consideration for why you would want to use this hashtag. It's another way to help make sure you're getting your content in front of the people who will want to have those conversations with it, or that you're finding the right content to join in those conversations. One thing to keep in mind about Twitter and Instagram, Twitter tends to be a lot more link focused with short thoughts, where Instagram is a lot more about images and the context of the images. So that's something to keep in mind when you're thinking about these hashtags. So what I have used to sort of my definition that I've included to help explain hashtags is to think of them as labels. So for example, many contests are run by using hashtags. If you've ever participated in a social media contest to try to win something or be a part of something, you've probably tagged it with a hashtag that'll be researched. That's how you submit your entry, is by using that specific hashtag, especially for large events or big brands doing holiday giveaways. It's just a way to sort, organize, and label your information, especially in a context like Twitter, where there's a whole bunch of content that's not necessarily sorted or organized. And it makes it searchable, which is really nice. So while a lot of people tend to think of a hashtag as some sort of funny joke or ironic statement rather, a hashtag actually has a lot of practical uses for marking a topic of your content, for your post, your tweet, or your picture. So that's a little bit about the uses of the hashtag. So thank you so much for being here and listening. Hopefully you have a better context now from the history of hashtags to where you want to use them and why. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us on Facebook at Pancake Digital Solutions, and we'll see you there. Have a great rest of your day.